You ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's 4:30 and I'll call this meeting to order with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you everyone for coming.
Okay.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from March 3rd, 2025 meeting?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do I have a motion to approve the February 2025 Treasurer's Report?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Correspondence. Lisa?
No, sir.
Okay. Old business. New business. Do I have a motion to approve or deny Resolution 2025-6? It's a sewage facilities planning module. Plan revision?
Yeah, it's for a small flow treatment facility, single family dwelling.
Okay, it's the FS.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We have a donated use request. Do I have a motion to approve or deny Tops Club, March 29th, 2025, Summit Township Senior Center? Do we know what time that is by chance?
No, they didn't have a time
Friday in the
listed.
evening?
It just says spring workshop meeting.
And the Tops Club is what?
Take off pounds sensibly.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve? Or
I'll make a
deny?
motion to approve.
I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion to approve or deny donated use for Waterford Township Elementary School, second grade, Picnicana, May 28th, 2025.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Land development, I don't believe there is any.
No land development tonight.
Solicitors report.
Reviewing draft developer's agreement for the engineer. Get that out soon, and happy to report that we'll have the closing on the Glory Drive parcel tomorrow.
Wonderful. Any questions for the solicitor? Engineer Jonas?
We submitted our MS4 pollutant reduction plan revision to the DEP last week. It was received at their office, so now we're waiting to hear back on approval or if there's any comments to that. Also, we received a $400,000 grant from the DCED for Peach Street sidewalk project. So this one's closing the gaps that are existing on Peach Street in the sidewalk. And we're working with EMTA as well to add 3 bus shelters along that corridor.
And we're thinking 2027 or 26?
26 most likely. At this point, by the time we get through all the design and engineering, we'd be in the fall of this year. So most likely a next year project.
Okay. Any questions for the engineer? Supervisor Lee?
Yeah, we just, what was that, last week, OSHA class for the employees and some others joined in. Just a good all-around construction class because nobody's ever had one here and we've kind of missed the boat. It's about safety awareness with equipment and ditches and confined space. We're also making plans on putting in 2 brick fire pits at Picnicana at the picnic shelters. The old grills are rusted out, so Tony's working on getting a new grill that we will fit into a brick structure. That's it. Thank you.
We were out this morning, a little bit of salt. We didn't have anything from 4 a.m. till 7, but then we had some black ice on several roads. And then been running around cleaning up trees, cutting up trees, chipping them. A lot of limbs came down over the weekend with the high winds. We've been patching our roads, which we still have some more to do, but other than that, it's just nice to see some sun and spring. Comments from the public? Yes, sir.
Question on the new leaf regulations or burning regulations the township has come up with. There's now going to be a twice-a-year collection by the township of bagged up leaves. Is that something that's gone through this board, or did it come? How did that come about? I never heard about it.
It was part of. It's a DEP mandate. It's part of our recycling program. We are mandated to pick up leaves twice a year, so we chose spring and fall.
Okay, is there going to be any charge?
There won't be any charge to our residents, no.
There will be notice of it given?
Yes, and I do believe it was in
It was in the newsletter, yeah.
for the spring cleanup.
It was, yeah, it's supposed to be May and October
Yep.
that they're going to be happening, but this is the first I ever seen it.
Yeah, it's part of the recycling program. It's to stay on, the good graces of DEP.
State is requiring
Yep.
the township to offer collection of leaves.
Correct.
The whole question on the burning of leaves in the future has now been reworked in similar to what Mill Creek Township had for their leaf burning things. And I've read the whole thing over, and the $300 fine is in there that was never in the old thing, the idea of the sizes and whichever. I've got 12 very active maple trees on my property.
Yep.
I generate a lot of leaves and I burn, and for 20 years I've been calling the people and getting permission to burn, and I run 2 hoses out there, and I'm trying to do everything, but I don't know if I'll be able to comply with the regulations as they're now set up as far as burning in the back corner of my property and the leaves that I've got.
I would say, when the time comes, talk to, Tammy Cass, zoning officer, she can kind of walk you through what your choices are.
I've got a burn permit. I've talked to her. She sent out a copy of the regulations. I've read them over, and the thing seems to be. It now seems that if one of my neighbors calls, because if anything from the burn goes over to a neighbor's place, they have the right to call me on the carpet. That was never stated before.
Okay.
In any legislation that I was ever aware of.
Gotcha.
And people will, whichever, I want to do what is compliant with the law and what's friendly to my neighbors. I'm not looking to make a problem, but this just seems like it's aimed at eliminating leaf burning in the township.
It is. It's because I think it's based on population threshold. Once we went above a certain population, the burn regulations. Lisa can know more about it than I do.
And we've had a lot of complaints from residents with people, burning and leaving it smolder and so forth. They have asthma.
It's virtually, by the way that it's done here, I've got 2 large trees that have come down this year, and I've got 2 more trees that the electric company is going to take down.
Okay.
And I'm responsible to get rid of the garbage off of that. And you can't burn a log out in 12 hours. I'll burn some, and I go out there 3 days later, it's still smoldering. That's nature. They're saying they don't want you burning anything anymore.
Yeah,
and that's a change in what happened when I came to Summit 20-some years ago.
Yeah.
Is different now, and it's just all gotten pushed through. And I disagree with it.
Gotcha.
But there's no place to complain about it. And it's like, that's the way it is. And then somebody says to federal government, well, wait a minute, maybe we should call Jones to come in and look at it, because it's something that's getting crammed through that I don't have any control over, and I think is, you know, I mean, I bought the property, I moved out of Mill Creek because they had a certain regulation. When I lived in Mill Creek, I couldn't burn. When I moved up here, I found out you can, and I got all the rules and read them over, call up the people. The people know me over at the 911 place, because I call them and I give them the full report and everything. As I say, I've done it for 15, 20 years, and now this regulation seems to be saying they're looking to eliminate people burning at all. And I think that needs to be, I wish it had been discussed, but it wasn't apparently, nor
Well, I
was
think
this whole.
we
Yes, it was.
ran it through a meeting. Tammy explained everything. I know she explained a lot of
She
things.
read, it was a 20-minute thing, I called
Yes,
her,
it
up, I
was.
talked to her extensively, and I got a copy of what she read, and I couldn't understand some of the words that she was reading, and she was having difficulty. I've been out for 6 weeks, I've been out with the D-Rep, and, you know, I'm still trying to understand what the heck is going on, and that was something that, you know, she read the new zoning rules, and where did they come from? Oh, well, we just copied what Mill Creek had, and,
Not necessarily,
well,
by any means.
that's the way it's, and, you know, I don't.
They have zoning meetings, they discuss a lot of things, what works, what doesn't work, what townships have issues with, what they find to be beneficial to, you know, all of the residents. And it's very difficult to please everybody.
No,
And what, you know, and my heart goes out to people that come in here and say, I got asthma so bad, that fire, the smoke's blowing in my house,
Well,
I can't breathe.
I am
I gotta leave my house just so I can get a breath of fresh air, and you know.
I would not want them to come to you. If some of my neighbors have a problem, I wish they would come to me.
Yeah.
But that's, I'm looking to have good relations with anybody
Sure.
who is a neighbor. I don't want to go through the police
I know
and
you.
whatever, and I don't want the township coming down and feeling like they've got to impose some legislation, but they've just been given a whole new set of ammunition to come after me on leaf burning, and I don't believe that at least I was ever informed of it.
Yep.
This was all news to me. And
It's tough to just single out one person and go, oh, well, Bob will never do that, but this guy will, so, you know, we're gonna let Bob slide, but we can't, you know, we're gonna go after this guy, because you know how that works out, it doesn't work out well.
I know what you're saying.
So it's kind of got to be firm, fair, and consistent.
Now, you were not here.
Are you able to elaborate? Did I miss anything?
When DEP mandated Summit Township recycle, leaf burning was included in the mandate. We had to pass an ordinance that restricted leaf burning, and we had to provide for leaf composting. So, thank you DEP and our mandated recycling.
Another wholly different issue has to do with satellite TV connections that supposedly came up here many times back in the distant past that were, has there ever been a single penny that has ever gone out, or has that service ever been utilized? Because it's like nobody talks about it anymore.
On the poles you talking about? The
No, I'm talking
satellite
about people who were
boosters?
not able to get internet in their homes, and so there were supposedly so many addresses, and the federal government was supposedly saying we're going to force everybody to be able to get it. And
I think at this time, Bob, 99% of Summit Township has internet
Has access.
access. Yep. Mhm. There may be a couple little roads, but we haven't heard about them. I'd hate to say that it's 100% because,
okay.
but VNet came through and expanded out in the southeast quadrant.
Okay.
Armstrong came across the railroad tracks on the east side, but they wouldn't come across the railroad tracks. But at this time,
So it has been
I think
utilized.
everybody has
Okay.
internet.
And at the last meeting, you were not here, I don't believe, there was a whole dispute about the water authority and people at Pops.
Yeah, I was at that, yeah.
Were you at that meeting?
Yep.
Yes, you were. It was video,
Yep,
I believe, and it was a 40-minute long discussion.
Yep.
They were all
and they
good.
came in and met with the water authority at the water authority's board meeting
The next.
the next day.
Okay.
And there was a lot of discussion at that. They gave the residents some direction, and to the best of my knowledge, they didn't pursue it. But I know that the water authority is working with them and trying to rectify, because it's not good.
The last issue, and I've obviously got a few, but get me out of here for 6 weeks. But anyway, getting more township residents to come into these meetings. Is there any way motivating people? I feel bad, I'm the only one here. I mean, I'm probably on video if somebody chooses to look it up, but I wish there would be a better representation. But nobody's.
Kind of tells us things are running kind of smooth. If we're filling a place, we're probably doing something.
No, when there's a problem, you get
Yep,
more people in.
for sure.
But I've come here for a long time over the last 2.5 years, and I've gotten informed on a lot of things or whatever, and I've kept my mouth shut a lot of the time.
Yep.
Most of the time, I'm not talk more tonight than I usually do.
Yes.
But
Yeah,
I wish there
we
was a way-
advertise, we post the agenda. I think if there was something that sparked people up,
And there's some people that do watch the videos. Right now, I just checked, we have 1 viewer so far, but typically 20 to 30 views for a video afterwards.
okay.
Still not a lot, but we're trying to get out there as much as we can.
It's on the Facebook, it's on the website, it's on the calendar.
All right, thank you very much. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.